Or we start with this demo day of the ReDI School of NRW, the 2020 pandemic version, I should say. A very brief 10-second introduction of myself, because you have never met me. I'm the moderator today. My name is Mirko, and I'm innovation manager for Deutsche Welle. We're doing research in EU-funded projects on technology. And as one of the results, I'm the co-founder of a data visualization tool that is in wide use in newsrooms around the world. It's called Data Wrapper, and I founded it in my living room, and it's now based in Berlin. It's a real company. So now going on, Anna, the CEO and co-founder of ReDI, wants to say a brief hello to everyone.
So hello, everyone. Hello is an important word at ReDI School because we believe that integration always starts with a hello. So a heartfelt hello, or as in my language, which is Danish, hi, from my side. My name is Anne, and I'm the co-founder and the CEO of ReDI School. And the first demo day is always really exciting, and I'm thrilled to be here and to be part of this beginning of an exciting journey. Today is actually also celebrating the 5-year anniversary of ReDI School, but in Berlin. And the idea to start a tech school for refugees, migrants, and other people in need actually also started with a hello. In 2015, I met Mohammed in a refugee camp in Buch in the north of Berlin. We started a conversation where he told me that he didn't have a laptop, but that he was a programmer and really wanted to work. And that same evening, I went online because technology is such a powerful tool. And on Facebook, I wrote, if I start a tech school for refugees, can you help? I went to bed. I didn't know if it was a good idea. But the next morning, already 20-30 people were reaching out, wanting to help. And that is how we got started. 2 weeks later, we had our first website and we started collecting laptops. So many things can start with a hello when you say hello to new people and you say hello to new opportunities. So for me, I pass on and say hello to Takuya.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. I hope you can hear me well. My name is Takuya. I'm doing the educational direction, means leading this NRW ReDI School. I'm very happy to be here and also celebrate together of our achievement of this semester. Maybe as a greeting, I can also say hello in my language. It's konnichiwa. It means actually today, how is it going? Yeah. And I can tell you about why I also got involved in ReDI School. It was back in 2016. I was working also in Berlin, in Kreuzberg. And I was a designer working in the agency. And next to our building, there was a refugee people actually camping in the park. And I really wanted to do something. And actually, what I could do was really very small contribution. And I was very struggling, frustrated. And I met Anne in the TEDx event in Berlin for migration, and really got a hit that I can do using my skill to help those people. And since then, I started the course for design, and I really did a volunteer teaching for 4 years. And finally, I got this chance to lead the new ReDI School in NRW. And I find this is really the great opportunity for me personally, also for my profession. And I'm so happy that all of you involved in project this semester. And I'm very excited to see what went well, and also celebrate together. Thank you so much. And then I pass it back to Mirko.
Thank you, Takuya. Thank you, Anne. That's an amazing story. We have additional special guests who wanted to say hello. First one is Hellen from Accenture. Hellen, I ask you a question. This is the first time that Accenture is collaborating with ReDI. What is the main observation? What is your main story you would like to share?
Yeah, good question. Hello, everybody, also from my side. Hello, or hallo, actually in my language, from Frankfurt here. Hello. The most exciting thing, I guess, is really that we really got it started after several months talking about it, and that this is a true partnership of several different partners, and all of them bring something very special to the program, which I think is really something special to have so many true partnerships, because none of us could do it ourselves. It's, none of us could really set up a program, find all the buildings, find all the teachers, but really bringing all our different capabilities together, this really allows us to bring the ReDI School to North Rhine-Westphalia, which I think is really an exciting thing in itself. And the most exciting thing for me is really that we do this in partnerships. And partnership is not just the organizations being involved here, but it's also very much the partners, the volunteers here, who really take the big time and share their insights, your insights. So really a big thank you at this point of time already, that you are the ones sharing content, but it's not about content. It's very much about sharing your insights in true, sorry, kids are playing around here, sorry, in the background. It's not about sharing content. The content can everybody read on the page, right? You can read on the internet, everybody can do some web design, etc. But the most interesting thing is really that all of you share the knowledge and the expertise, that you really share your cultural insights and take the time to explain things. So this is really, and this is in special times and online. So I really truly thank all the volunteers for your hard work in the last couple of weeks, in the last 3 months, sharing insights, sharing knowledge, and really taking the time to engage and train our participants of the program. Mirko, back to you. Huh?
Thank you very much. I forgot a little advice to the audience. We are open to questions to the guests, and after each of these short talks, we will be able to pick 1 or 2. I put it into the chat. Are there any immediate questions right now? You can use the chat to, and we select one. And if it's too late, that's my fault. I'm very sorry. When in that case, we can move on, and maybe you have a question. Yeah. So I give the floor to Roman. Roman from Mitsubishi Electrics. Roman, Mitsubishi Electrics is kind of an unlikely partner and collaborator. What is your main motivation? What is your hope in collaborating with ReDI NRW?
Hello, Mirko. Thank you. And thank you for Takuya that I have the chance to participate today, because it's, let's say, I would not consider us until now as a partner because we want to start. We are currently in the phase where we see what or investigate what we can do and how we can help. But there's, of course, also a personal story behind all that. So, like, my father, of course, maybe is not considered as a refugee, but he came from Austria in his early 20s, married my mother, and they started working in shifts. So they haven't had any further education or anything else. So I grew up in a working class family with nobody was studying before. So I had to really, let's say, fight myself up and try to get information and education everywhere. And for all of your students, it's much more harder than me. So even for me, it was hard. It said, let's say I guess a study said, analysis said like 2% out of working class families do study. So I will not cannot imagine how it would be for all the people who now study at the ReDI School and where we give a chance. It's even more close to zero, I guess, the chances. So I really would like to make that easier for everyone, not only for people, refugees, but for everyone who wants to have an education. They should get it. So that's my personal story behind that. And that Mitsubishi now is joining would say, I saw Anne and Takuya-san on LinkedIn and everywhere. And 10 years ago, I was working a lot with Engineers Without Borders, where we did projects in the countries. And now I really can help people directly integration in our community here in Düsseldorf, as you did in Berlin and Munich. And as Mitsubishi Electric, I think we are the perfect link between IT and OT. All your IT projects can be used, for example, in the future for projects with Mitsubishi, where we can link it to some physical products like robotics or anything else. So I think in the future, we could be a good partner to link it to the Internet of Things and educate you in these practical things where all your IT knowledge can be used in the future. So that's our part, and I'm really looking forward to see what you did today, and it's a big honor for me to join today. And hopefully we will celebrate next year again when we also teach some of you. So back to Mirko now.
Thank you very much. I think if I learned anything in the last 20, 25 years, is that the world is big and that there are a lot of professions and a lot of needs and tasks, but that you have to go out and find them and learn about companies like Mitsubishi Electric, like what they actually do and what their needs are. And that is always an opportunity. So I need to ask Cosimo, do you have any questions? Do you see anything in the chat so far? Maybe we are overwhelming people.
So far, we don't have any questions in the chat.
So in that case, I would suggest we're kind of moving on, but we are open to that. Please take the opportunity if you come up with while listening and have a short question, then ask the question, and maybe we have like 2 or 4 minutes later to go back to answering them. So now we actually already move over to maybe the key part. We're gonna have the student presentations, and before I start with it, I would like to introduce the jury members of today. They are all quite attached to ReDI. It's Jan Hendrick, who teaches the introduction to Python. He's from Microsoft. And Dean, again, teacher in Python. He's from Accenture. Markus, teacher for network fundamentals from Accenture. Anna, web design fundamentals, and Vincent, again, web design fundamentals. And the way it works is we have prepared short 3-minute presentations, which were pre-recorded and will be broadcasted now to all of you. And then in the follow-up, some of the jury members will give short insights and feedback. So first presenter is Onyinye. And it's the introduction to Python. I would ask that the video is getting started now.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Obiefuna Onyinye. I'm really glad to be in your midst and to be one of the presenters. What I want to let you know that what motivated me going into Python learning because of my desire to build my career in social intelligence. And as a geologist, I want to go into computational geology. Presently, I'm having my master's in applied geosciences. And before I graduate, I need knowledge of Python. That's why I decided to go into Python learning. I never knew of Python until I got introduced to ReDI School. I must give it to them. They are one of the best. And the lecturers, they really did well. They were accommodating, tolerant, and quite understanding. I really appreciate them and give it to them. I never knew by now that I could send something on Python. Python is a way of making things very easy for you, trying to get information you need very easy without going into rigorous processes. We had many lectures, and one of them is LIST, which I would like to talk about. Many people will be asking, what has Python got to do with LIST? It has many things to do with the LIST because it makes it easier. When somebody tells you something about LIST contains so many items in it. Maybe somebody will tell you a list of students and the rest of them. That list of students, you need to do 1 or 2 things with the list. And to get information you need, if you are doing it manually, it will take you a lot of time. You have to go through the list one after the other. But with Python, you can get the information you need easily. Like when you want to talk of, when you go to my slide, because of time, you see some of the examples I showed there. You can easily get what you want. Like when you want to know the number of items in the list, with Python and the command and the function I put there, once you run it with some seconds, you get what you need without going to it. Into it one after the other. You can get the ID of the list with this command. Once ID and the name of the list, you get the ID you want. So Python makes things easier for us. You can iterate in the list with Python easily and get whatever you want. List is characterized with a particular bracket like I specified here. Any list that doesn't have such a bracket is called bracket. Once you run it, it gives you an error. Because of time, I may not go into more details, but it's just for you to understand that with Python, you can get whatever you want in some seconds. Thank you so much, and I hope to do more when we go to advanced level. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think if somebody does not know what Python is actually doing, they at least have an idea now. Now, for some feedback from the teachers, Markus, can you give some back a little bit of your impressions and some feedback to what the class was doing?
So Python is definitely one of the key things to learn. So actually, it's ubiquitous. Yeah, you know, not only have it in data topics, even in my area, network. Last year's Python has come up more and more, and it's really an important thing. So it's definitely effort well spent. Knowing Python is like having with one language a complete tool set of whatever you could ever want to do and automate in IT. So good choice. And this is obviously also a topic which is as presented. Yeah, it's a key thing. I remember when I first learned programming, lists is really something to get into, and it's a cool concept, and it's a nice topic chosen to be presented here. Well done.
Thank you, Markus. Anna, what is your impression?
Yes, thank you so much, Onyinye, for that presentation. I'm actually not able to program myself, so very difficult, but I was able to follow. So that's a huge compliment if you make it so easy, understandable what you've learned. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. And yeah, keep your motivation and try to learn more in the next time. And yeah, wish you so much fun with that.
Thank you very much. So we're moving to Vincent. Some feedback from Vincent.
Yeah, I believe Python is a language that has so much possibilities. So with the little video I just watched, I was very excited because I can see the enthusiasm and interest in you to learn more. So I want you to know that what you've just learned is like one step out of maybe several steps, but at least this one step can actually take you a long way. So, you know, build up on this, explore more, and programming is a world on its own. So you can explore more and then learn more. So keep it on, and I believe you have a very bright future when it comes to programming and then Python in particular. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we're moving to Dean, and we're keeping this way of opening up. So if you have a question, think of one question to Onyinye about her experience. Think of one, put it into the chat. But before we are looking into questions, it's Dean. Dean, please.
Onyinye, so I had my very first lesson with you on lists. What makes it very special. It's been 2 months ago. You've always been a person asking questions and have an inquisitive mind. You are a female geologist. And my question to you is, now that you've started with your projects, what would be your next project? Would you consider a project in the area of geology? And how would you use lists for the projects you're pursuing?
Is it me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, in geology is a let me just say is a vast course in the sense that we also do a lot of Python programming in the course. So, like I've said before, that I want to go into computational geology. There are so many data to be accessed. There are so many information to be accessed. I think with the knowledge I've acquired this little time, especially that list of a thing, it will help me to streamline and to minimize the time I would have wasted if I don't use Python. Maybe if I've not learned anything on list. So geology is all about data processing. So when you talk of data processing, you know that list is equally very, very important, and is needed. Yes, so it will really help me to get my work done faster. Thank you.
I'm a computational science. That's my background myself, so I'm really glad to hear that you are using it for your field of specialty.
Yeah. Thank you, Dean. I must appreciate you.
You can contact me anytime regarding questions on these
thank you.
areas.
So it's I think my turn next to give feedback and ask a question. And what I liked about your presentation from the course is especially the connection that you made with between geology and machine learning. So info gathering, as you call it, because I think this course is giving you the material to get started on your journey with machine learning and AI, especially in the field of geology. So I think especially seeing your growth from the first lesson up until the last lesson was really impressive, and I'm really proud of you. And I think my one question would be, if you see the whole course, what would be your biggest takeaway from the course in general?
Everything is takeaway for me. Everything.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Very much. Thank you very much. I suggest that we're moving on. The pattern stays the same, and now we do something similar for network fundamentals. Next presenter will be Nam, and it's again a short video.
Welcome everyone to my presentation. My name is Nam. I've been here for 14 months, and today I will present on behalf of the Networking Fundamentals course. So I've been here for 14 months and I'm studying data science and artificial intelligence at Düsseldorf University. But don't be scared of me because I'm from a 100% non-tech background, just like most of you. In fact, I didn't have the courage to make the decision to study data science in the first place. It was because of the tremendous encouragement and the support that I got from ReDI School that I changed my mind nearly in the last minutes, but yeah, it was my story. And my hobbies are budget traveling, and also I want to learn more about other countries. And today I will present about networking. So why should we talk about networking? Networking is very important because we want to understand how computer system communicates. We want to increase the speed, the accuracy, the security of that communication. So in our course, we discussed a lot of topics, but the main backbone of the curriculum was the OSI, the Open System Interconnections Model, which consists of 7 layers, and we discussed about each layer in detail: the physical layer, the data link layer, the network layer, the transport layer, and then we go to session, presentation, and finally application. Also, we discuss other more trendy, popular topics of networking. So IP addresses generation 6 and cloud and infrastructure. And cloud computing is something that I want to give you a little bit more information about. So cloud computing is when your IT infrastructure is not from you, but is provided by another service provider. So Amazon, Microsoft, or Google. And it has its own pros and cons. The pros are, for example, the speed is very high, resources are quickly deployed, it's super elastic, so you can add, you can remove resources based on your demands. And also it has global distribution across many regional data centers. At the same time, it's more vulnerable to cyber attacks. You have less control over your resources, and also maybe you may suffer from vendor locking when it's not easy to switch from a service provider to another service provider. And in terms of cloud service models, we basically have three cloud service models on the market. And if you can see, so if you go from infrastructure as a service to platform as a service and finally to software as a service, you have more control. Basically, Google Cloud, something that most of us use these days, is an example of infrastructure as a service. You have very little control over what you are doing. Okay, so to summarize my ReDI experiences in the networking fundamentals course, I would say 3 words: was challenging, at the same time was very mind expanding and unforgettable experience, not only for me, for everyone in the course. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, the same procedure as that other lecture. This time it's Jan Hendrick. Can you give some feedback to this as well?
Yes, thank you, Nam, for your presentation. First of all, great T-shirt. Really liked that, and I really liked what you talked about in your talk. So you learned about the underpinnings of what we now use as in cloud computing, which is networking. Networking is all around, and I think you highlighted some important points like security, for example. And I think your explanations were quite good. So I'm happy to see one more cloud engineer in the making. So hopefully one day you'll be there and we'll have fun in the cloud, like the rest of us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can say much has the Padawan learned already. Next is Dean with a bit of feedback.
Okay, thanks. So I thought the presentation was very informative, and I thought that you structured the content in a really well manner and show that you have a solid foundation on the topic, which you can build upon.
So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thought so too. Keeping this short is as much a challenge as making it very long and detailed to get down to the fundamentals. So some feedback from Anna, please.
Yes, thank you, Nam, for that great presentation. You have my fullest respect because coming from a non-technical background, it's always so hard to start, and getting started is the thing you need to do, and you did it. And you presented everything in such a confidential way. I totally bought it, actually. So keep that confidence and keep staying in that tech world.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vincent, something to now.
Yeah, of course. I always believe that IT is a field that is kind of very wide. It involves a whole lot of stack and a whole lot of field. So you being a network engineer or a cloud engineer is kind of awesome because it's a field that you can feel very fulfilled in. So I would encourage you to go ahead and conquer go on to the certifications, and a lot of hiring managers are actually looking for good DevOps engineers or good cloud engineers. So go ahead and make yourself very useful in the industry. So because you're already doing that already. So kudos to you, and I wish you success.
Thank you.
So now we turn it around a little bit. It's Markus now, and Markus will ask a question to you. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, before I'm asking a question, first of all, let me also say thank you for doing this presentation, because as you can maybe imagine, as the network teacher here who was leading this network course, network is a topic really close to my heart, and I love teaching it because I think it's a fascinating topic, and even though it would take way too much time to really go into the depths now here in this demo day. Just that you already mentioned the fact that we have this 7 layers of the OSI model, and they are have different responsibilities to make communication work. For example, through the internet to the cloud. That's a cool topic. to highlight, and I'm really grateful for that, because I love talking about networks and making people getting this spark of understanding how this works together. And there's actually also my question, and it would be the following. So for a lot of people, how the internet works and how network works is something which is more or less a black box, a magical thing. No one really understands. We're just here together in this meeting, and everyone can see each other, and somehow makes it magically happening that we are connected. And my question to you now would be, would you say that after this course you have a better understanding why the internet actually is working, and that it is not magic but actually cool science, that it integrates well, and that data is really traveling in a useful, sensible manner through the internet? This is something which you can relate no more to.
Yes, I can say so. And if someone asks me to explain how information is transferred from one computer system to another, I can explain in a more easy way using like the more practical example, like how a letter is distributed from this post office to that post office, and finally to the address of the recipient. That would be a very nice example and easy to understand.
Absolutely.
It's really,
people, you should ask him. You should ask him. It's a cool thing to talk about.
Yeah, it is. It's complicated, but it's really cool science. A lot of mathematics behind it.
And think of what became of something like the OSI model by now. You're absolutely right, Marcus. Thank you, Nam. I would suggest we move on. And the next one will be David for HTML and CSS.
My name is David from the course Web Development, and the semester we learned HTML and CSS, and we are grateful to ReDI School for the opportunity that you have given. So I'm basically just going to brush through some of the topics we learned throughout the whole class. So firstly, HTML and CSS are regarded as the skeleton and the body of the website, as you can see on the first PowerPoint or the second PowerPoint. Yeah, and they're always divided into the head and the body. Then, we learned about headers, paragraph, divisions, images, anchor tag, and so much more. So I will take you through my sites, my personal portfolio website without CSS. Yeah, this is how it looks like according to the video. Yeah, a typical HTML is divided into the head, the body, and wrapped within an HTML file, an HTML tag. And of course, before you can use the HTML, you have to name it index.html so that the browser can know that this is an HTML file. Yeah, this is an image of my website, my portfolio website without a CSS. There's basically just a skeleton right now, just bones. So, yeah, of course, it looks boring already. Sure, you can see that it looks so boring and it is not so interactive. So what we're going to do about it, we're just going to simply add a CSS. And in CSS, we learned so much more. A lot of CSS, box model, the color, the font, positioning, display, and the height. Yeah, and according to the video here, you can just see a little bit of how CSS looks like in the Visual System code. Unlike the HTML, the CSS doesn't write codes in divs or in tags, but it's very important to know that CSS always treats HTML elements as if they were boxes. So so boxes, they will have a background color. Yeah, you can give it a background color. The content, you can give it a font style you want, the border, the margin, the space between other elements, and so much more you can do with the CSS. So how does my website looks like now? Yeah, you can see it's more beautiful and more cloudy, as you can see. Yeah, basically. So yeah, I would like to say thank you to ReDI School. I would have loved to say much more, but you know the time limit is always there. We are grateful for the time and the privilege that we're given to actually learn and to improve on our skills. And we hope that the partnership will not fail in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very understandable as the other ones as well. It relays the concept very quickly. Markus, can you give some feedback to this presentation?
Yeah, of course, very happy to. So I like the comparison with the skeleton and the body around it. So it very much brings it to the point. Yeah. So you have what you need to differentiate is content versus representation of the content. And I liked how the video was done and the presentation was done, because having the comparison between an website without any formatting and then putting in a CSS, which without adding any additional words or anything, just put it at different font sizes, colors, and positions on the page, makes them look much more better and improves it so much. So this was a very good example, because I think we all can learn a bit from that, because when you write a document, all of you have probably had the situation. You read it often in your life, probably write something important, and then you do one thing. You first write the content and get the content right, and then at the very end you take care about making all the formatting nice. Because if you switch back and forth between content and formatting all the time, then nothing gets ever done, right? So that's a very valuable lesson. So let's make sure we understand both content and its representation in a nice way. So this is very valuable. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Good point. Next is Anna for feedback.
Yes, David, you actually just were nominated for the web design course for next semester. No, it was just great to see that you took that into focus to think about the design of a website and talking about colors and fonts. It's a bit of a spoiler because this will be the next presentation, but I was very glad to see that programming and web design is so close connected together. And yeah, thanks for that great presentation.
Thank you. So we're moving to Jan Hendrick for some feedback.
Yeah, David, it was really great to hear you talk, because I think you have the markings of a great public speaker, to be honest. The presentation style was pretty fluent, pretty good. So you have to know your stuff to do that right. So I think we can all say with confidence that you really do know your stuff. And what I especially like in a technical presentation is the use of demos. So great job all around. And I can't wait to see you in other courses.
So we're moving to some feedback from Vincent. And Vincent, you are the one asking a question back to David.
Yeah. While David was actually presenting, I was blushing all through. So the reason is because the teachers, which I think they are 100% the volunteers, which I think they're 100% to be accredited to these, my fellow volunteers in HTML and CSS, that have been awesome and dedicated. I've never met for personally a set of volunteers that are dedicated like them. So kudos to them too. And so I think, David, it was a very, very nice presentation from you. You know, just seeing this, I'm already kind of visualizing this kind of you doing like a corporate website for a company, or doing like a corporate website for an individual or for an organization, which is, all these are 100% related. So once you're able to do one, you can do all. So like build an Amazon website or stuff. All these things are still made with the same HTML and CSS, apart from maybe one or two frameworks that are actually added to it. So it's actually nice to see this from you. And I know we have a lot of students that actually did their own project, but just that one person was actually selected to show to the audience. So it's actually nice, and I encourage you to kind of keep it up. Then for my question, apart from this now, what do you think, what further project do you think you now have the strength to attack, given the stack or the skills we have tried to equip you with? What other project do you think you can personally do now on your own, David, apart from your portfolio website?
Okay. So personally, I've been able to do also accomplish some few other projects. Like I tried out an hotel website. Yeah, I did an hotel website. I designed a hotel website. I also tried to design a website for a couple number of an Amazon kind of a website. I'm still working on that because Amazon is always complicated. A lot of frameworks added to Amazon, so I'm trying to make a copy or something like that of Amazon. But yeah, it takes a lot of time. But yeah, I'm confident that with more knowledge and practice, I think that's what. Actually, I'm planning on even making up to 10 more projects in HTML and CSS just to perfect, So with more practice and timing, I believe I can be able to do more websites. So.
David, thank you so much. All the best for the next steps and many hotels to come. We're moving on. We're going to web design fundamentals, and the next presenter will be Charles for web design fundamentals.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Ajiboye, and I'm a master's student of human-computer interaction at the University of Siegen. I represent the Web Design Fundamentals track. Okay, so why did I enroll for the Web Design track? I've come to realize that in the tech industry, there's a high demand for tech experts that will build digital products that are tailored to meet the needs of the users. I also come to realize that it's a rewarding field, and it gives you the opportunity to design products that meet the needs of humans, and also it gives room for innovation and creativity. So before embarking on this course, I had some expectations, and top on my list was to increase my level of proficiency in the use of Figma to be able to design websites that look amazing and meet the needs of users. Also, I had in mind to understand web design fundamentals and also get to understand user experience design and user research. So for the track, our goal was to redesign the website of the Reusch restaurant, which is a restaurant in Germany here. And to get that done, we went through a series of lectures. It spanned across 12 weeks. And the first lecture was getting to understand user research, and also getting to understand information architecture, which entails how to properly structure information on the website. Also, we went through lectures on typography, color theory, wireframing, visual design, prototyping, and usability testing. And after the 12 weeks of lectures, I was able to come up with this design. Here you can see mock-ups of the websites that I was able to design. And also here on the left, you can see how the website looks before, and on the right, what the design I was able to come up with after the lectures. At this point in time, what are some takeaways for me? I was able to better understand what user experience design means, how to design a website that converts, and also design a website that is well structured to meet the needs of users. Also, I was able to understand design thinking, which is a user-centric approach to designing digital products. I was able to understand web design fundamentals and also design systems. At this point in time, I would like to appreciate everyone at the ReDI School for this opportunity you've given to us. You've added value to us, and we're on our way to giving value to the tech industry. I also want to appreciate our teachers for taking out time from their busy schedules to come out to add value to us and impact knowledge. Thank you.
Interesting. I must say that in the work at Deutsche Welle Innovation, we introduced design thinking a few years back, and we use it very, very often to tackle new technologies when they just start and when they go into the research track at the very beginning. Thank you very much. So we are now asking some feedback again from Vincent.
Yeah, also, thank you very much. So when you mentioned some tools you use for design, it now occurred to me that even I still use some of those tools like Figma. So, but most times design people get very discouraged because, you know, it seems like programmers still do part of their work. But the truth of the matter is that in today's IT world, you shouldn't be discouraged because recruiters also value division of labor. So just if you are good in a particular thing, just focus that thing and be very good in it. You find out that you always excel. Even if you are just good in designing, you are not good in programming, for instance, you still excel in any field you are good in. Networking, designing, programming, you will still excel. So just you have a lot of things to still learn and modify, but keep it up and try many projects and practice. You get there. Thank you very much. You're mute.
Sorry. Thank you. That's absolutely true. We're moving on to Jan Hendrick.
Yeah, thank you, Charles, for your presentation. Again, a really good one. So what I like most is that you identified the reasons why you took this course and then followed up with the lessons learned in the end. I think that really was great to see. And what I especially liked were the impressive mock-ups that you made. So I think your progress has been quite impressive, to be honest. And well, keep it up. So very good work.
Thanks very much. We're moving on to some feedback from Dean.
Hello, Charles. So I've seen your mock-up as well, and I've seen the transformation you've made and that you're using different principles to enforce these. I liked how you use that circular design for the items which you put. And I think that this is the beginning of your track towards web design, UI and UX. I apologize if this is not my field of expertise.
Next is Markus. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very impressive. So first of all, the comparison between before and after it obviously shows, right? But even beyond that, I think what you learned is something very, very valuable because, of course, you learned something specific about web design, but even more, like Mirko was already mentioning, design thinking is a way of working with new topics, rapidly prototyping things, not only in web design, everywhere. And so this is very valuable. And I think it is in particular valuable because it puts the requirements of people into the center. Yeah. So focusing on what actually the user needs. I think that's also a very, very human thing to do. Yeah. Having that in mind, what the people I want to interact with or which will interact with the product will actually need out of this. So having that look onto technology is helpful beyond web design. So well done, well chosen topic. Congratulations.
Thank you, Markus. One thing that I would like to add, but only because of the presentations, all these tools are kind of the modern clay, like the clay to form things that are actually of practical value. It might be a little bit intimidating at the very beginning, but these are all approaches to build something of use. So, but I'm giving over to the expert, Anna. Could you give some feedback and then ask a question as well?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Charles, for that presentation. It actually makes me so proud now to see the final results. All of us teachers were like, we are so proud because we have kind of seen you growing during the semester, and now to see the final results, it's just great. And I really liked your presentation because we had a presentation day in our class, and the presentation was a bit different. So it was again surprising for me, and I really like that you also place the screens into the device. This is really nice to keep that a bit more living. Yes, and my question would be, when you look back to the course and the different topics, what was one thing you enjoyed the most, or you really enjoyed in web design?
Okay, thank you. Looking back at the course, one thing I really enjoyed was the friendly and collaborative atmosphere we had in class. The tool we used for our design is Figma, and Figma has that functionality of allowing the teachers and the students to work together on the same platform. So while the student is working on a design, the teacher can see how it goes about it and correct the students immediately. I mean, this was a learning by doing approach, which I found very effective. And I mean, our class was always very interactive, friendly, and active. Then for the topics, two topics I really enjoyed was the prototyping and the usability topics. Prototyping because it gives us the designers the opportunity to see how the design works in real life. With this, you can iterate and fix any issues you must have noticed. Then for the usability testing, it involves you giving the user that software or website you must have designed to use. And with this, I mean, watching your users use the software, you can quickly pinpoint any usability issue that exists in the software and correct it. I think these are very good topics that helped us improve our design skills. Thank you.
So thanks so much for these amazing presentations, and I can tell from the chat that the audience is, touched as well. What Anna just said, this progress is there was a door that opened into a room that was hard to tell what would be inside, right? And now we see all the findings, all the development, all the personal development. And that is amazing. That is great to watch. We are actually a little bit ahead of time, but I think, in these days of video conferences, normally we are behind time. Now we're a bit early because we all were very disciplined in how we answered. So thanks to everyone talking for doing it so to the point. And I think we're moving to the final celebration, right, Takuya?
All right. Thank you so much, Mirko. Then, without this Corona context, usually we have a place and we can dance together. And for that, we prepared the original ReDI NRW song. And, just keep your headset on and, relax yourself. And I'm gonna share the song. Just a second.
Are you ready? Yes, we are. Are you ready? NRW. Are you ready? Yes, we are. Are you ready? NRW.
Ready or not, here we go. The best place to be, that's radio. Connecting digitally, that's what we do. Breaking down barriers, that's how we do it. And hey, to all teachers who are so cool, thank you for making our dreams come true. When next you get asked where's the best place to be, just
Are you ready? Yes, we are. Are you ready? NRW. Are you ready? Yes, we are. Are you ready? NRW.
Yeah, come on everybody, it's time to get started. Ready school and NRW study. You need motivation, it's free if you're willing. Yeah,
thank you, teachers.
Yeah, goes to the teachers. We say a big thank you. The lectures, the meetings, it's been so exciting. You are special. We say a big thank you. We are ready.
Yes, we are. Are you ready? Thank you, teachers. Are you ready? Yes, we are. Are you ready? Thank you, teachers.
I'm basically a guest too today, but it's amazing what has been accomplished by this group of people. Sincere congrats to everybody who took case, participated in the courses and had this opportunity. And many thanks to the everyone else, the teachers, everyone involved in this on behalf of ReDI.
Thank you. And again, I'd like to share the big thank you from the ReDI School and our website. Thank you so much for all teachers in this 4 course. It is the first pilot semester in the semester, and without your effort, we couldn't manage this great commitment in this NRW. And from my side, and also from my colleague Lorenz side, we'd like to big thank you to all teachers involved in this project. Thank you. Yeah. And Isabel, are you here?
I am.
Isabel is in charge of all mentorship and career program, and I pass it to Isabel.
Yeah, so hi from Berlin. Before I jump over to our demo day, I just wanted to give a big thank you from our team to all the mentors that are starting now in NRW or have started in the new school. A big thank you also from my colleague Miriam, who's been onboarding the mentors. We couldn't be doing it without you. And a special thanks to our career coaches that have been training our students in how to write a CV, how to find a job. It's super important that you are there, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Isabel. And lastly, from my side, from the ReDI School NRW, without our partners and supporters, we couldn't run this school, even we couldn't establish this school. And I would like to say big thank you from my program, Accenture and Microsoft, Cisco, Handelsblatt, and the other people, and Deutsche Welle, especially Mirko. Thank you for your great moderation today. And Roman, thank you so much for your involvement from Mitsubishi Electric and Henkel Vodafone Stiftung. And I'm sure that some people from Düsseldorf Amt für Migration und Integration is here. Thank you so much for all of your help to get connected with the community. And also Frau Breitkopf should be here. Thank you so much for your support also from Essen for the communal integration, those integration support for us. And my colleague Liebke is in charge of the Kids and Youth program in Duisburg, and we would like to also thank our supporters, partners, especially Klockner, Weisheim Stiftung, and also Young Garage Lab and Itemiris. And that's actually it from my side. And again, thank you so much for you to come here to celebrate together our successful semester. And I'd like to finish with one word saying cheers. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Have a great time off.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.